Hey, it's been a while, like just over 2 years since the last time I made a new Tim Talks Cooking video. Well, here I am, I'm back. No more keto, but still great, relatively simple recipes made with simple ingredients and generally completely from scratch. And I'm really glad to share with you today one of my favorite recipes. I make it probably every week or every 10 days or so. We eat a certain amount of pizza around here, eh? Anyway, easy recipe, not necessarily quick. You go from start to finish pizza in about 2 hours, but if you make some crusts ahead, you can have pizza anytime in about 25 minutes from your oven, and it's just great. Anyway, rather than go on and on and on here, why don't we just get right down to business? Tell you what, let's head out to the kitchen. We're going to start out with 400 milliliters, that's a cup and 3/4 of water, just barely warm to the touch. To that, I'm going to add some sugar. This is 7 grams or about a heaping teaspoon of sugar. You could use honey or any other sweetener you like. And 12 grams or 2.5 teaspoons, that's about a packet of active dry yeast. I'm going to whisk it up. We want to get the sugar and the yeast dissolved as much as possible right here. And then we're going to leave it for about 10 minutes or so. Now here, you can see this is 10 minutes later. The yeast is nice and foamy, it's blooming. We're going to add to this 28 milliliters of olive oil. That's 2 tablespoons. It'll make the dough tender. And a tablespoon of kosher salt, that's 14 grams. Whisk it up and get the salt dissolved in there. It won't kill the yeast, I promise. Next, we're going to add in 750 grams. That's about 6 cups, but you're going to want to weigh it. Anyway, 750 grams of unbleached all-purpose flour. I buy the cheapest store brand flour, and it works just fine. It's delicious. And we're going to use the dough hook here, which I'm going to attach to my stand mixer. And if you don't have one, just knead it by hand for 8 to 10 minutes once you get it mixed up really well. In the mixer, give it about 5 minutes. And you might stop it once in a while to scrape the sides down, but basically what you're going to see is after a while the dough is going to collect into a ball in the center, and it will actually clean the sides of the bowl without you doing much of anything. When the 5 minutes is up, I take it out of the mixer bowl, get it off the hook there. And we can move the mixer, we don't need it anymore. And next, I'm just going to scrape it away from the sides. This is kind of a sticky dough, not real sticky, but a little bit. Add about a tablespoon of olive oil on top. You don't need to measure it, but don't douse it in too much oil. And we're going to let it run down the sides, and we're going to turn this over so we coat all of the sides. And in baking, that's called turn to coat. Just make sure you get the surfaces more or less covered with oil. It kind of rolls around in the bottom like that. That's good. It's not stuck to anything. Now, next you want to cover the bowl and leave it to rise for about an hour till it's doubled in volume. Here it is after an hour. And if you're not sure it's doubled, stick 2 fingers in it just like this. And if the dough doesn't pop back up, then it's doubled. I'm going to get it out of the bowl. Next, I want to divide this up into as many crusts as I'm going to make. Here, 3 crusts. Make 3 14-inch crusts. I divide it evenly, and to do that, I actually weigh it out so I have really even portions. But if you want to eyeball it, go ahead and eyeball it. I just want them all to be the same size. You could divide this into 12 portions, or really any number of portions that you want. I think that's really good for sort of a mini pizza thing, if that's what you're after. Anyway, what I do is I knead each piece of the dough into a smooth ball, as you see me do here. Just sort of roll it around a little bit. That's pretty much it. Do it with each piece. Get the next one and the third one. And then basically cover it up with the cloth again and give it about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to rise again before you spread it out onto a pan. Here they are after 30 minutes. You can see they've puffed up a little bit, not huge or anything, nothing too dramatic. But there they are. I'm going to move them off to the side so you can see how I spread them out onto the pan. You want to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a generous amount of oil and spread it out really evenly over the pan. Make sure you get it into all the corners and there we go, put the dough in. Now your hands are oiled so they won't stick to the dough while you spread it out. If your dough is resistant at all, just leave it on the stovetop, your preheating stovetop, for 5 minutes or so and come back to it and it'll be much more relaxed. Once you've got it spread out to your satisfaction, use a fork like this to poke some holes all over the dough. This will keep it from puffing up too much and you won't end up with a big balloon puff in it during baking. That happens sometimes anyway, it's not a big deal. This just keeps it nice and flat. I'm going to stick this into that 400 degree oven for 10 minutes. And I only have one pan, so I do each of my 3 crusts individually. Anyway, when it's done, bring it out, cool it on a rack, and get started on the next pizza crust. So again, you pour a little oil in the pan. Once it's nice and cool, mind you. Anyway, there we go. Now here what we're going to do is make a pizza from one of the crusts that are finished. I turn the oven up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 220 Celsius. And this is my own homemade sauce that I make. I'll put a link on the screen to the video where I make that. It's a keto version, so just add a tablespoon of sugar to it to make a non-keto version. It's very nice. I also use real Parmigiano Reggiano on my pizzas. I think it's delicious. Next, I'm adding some crumbled hot Italian sausage. I like it under the mozzarella for some reason. Lots of shredded mozzarella. Don't talk to me about extra. This is the amount you need. Anyway, Castelvetrano olives sliced up like this. I think that's just delicious. Of course, you can use whatever toppings you like. And next, we're just going to stick it into the oven. Again, 20-25 minutes. We want to brown the top a little bit. Here it is after that time. Isn't that gorgeous? Pull it out a little bit there. We're going to let that cool for 8 to 10 minutes before we serve it. And here, check this out. I'm going to turn the music off here for a second so you can actually get an idea of just how beautiful this crust is. Check it out. Yeah. There you go. That is crunchy, right? You've got the outside crust, it's nice and crunchy. The rest of it is pretty sturdy and nice and browned on the bottom. And here you're going to see just how nice it serves up. Just like that. Just beautiful. And I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to eat some pizza here, right? Listen, before you go, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Helps my channel grow, and it helps you find my videos, especially if you click on that notifications bell. Thanks so much for watching us here today at Tim Talks Cooking, huh? We'll catch you next time.